Hey, Dame. I think PG hits a three to put them up 96-90, and then you guys got six stops in a row. I'm curious. I know you threw a little bit of the zone at him, but just what do you see defensively that you guys were able to put together that many stops and kind of flip the game?
I just thought we just had good activity. It wasn't a couple times they made shots, but we were playing physical. We were flying around. They had to earn it. And I think when you make teams work like that, sometimes the ball is going to end up in guys' hands that they don't want it in. Sometimes they're going to be up against the shot clock. Sometimes, you're going to speed them up. And I just thought that the way we defended, we just lowered the shot quality that they was able to get for a few possessions. And you put that with the crowd, you put that with us, gaining some momentum, a little bit more pressure on those possessions, and they turned into stops.
Just for you offensively, you get hot early and then it's, double teams. And I'm curious, just how do you see it? I'm assuming it really looked like you were trying to stretch it out as far as you could to half court and then make the play. But
Yeah.
I mean, off of it, you got a young guy like AJ Green hitting a 30 footer. Like, just kind of what you see late.
It was my typical experience, I guess, for my career up until this point where, I've come out, I'm attacking, kind of getting what I want to get early in the game. And their adjustment is to run guys at me or trap or send a double team. And I just, it was familiar, So sometimes I attacked it and, applied pressure to the double team. So they didn't think that they was just taking me out of the game, and then they would overreact. Sometimes it would be a third guy coming into the paint, and then other times I would act like I was going to attack and just make them get more aggressive and pull them out of the play, and then throw it back and then try to take advantage of the 4-on-3. And that was pretty much all I did. Like the game kind of slowed down for me because they got aggressive, and I know that that's when you got to just kind of be a decoy and then trust the next play. And I think for a lot of the game, we would make a shot, miss a couple. We didn't always take advantage of it, so they just kept doing it. And I think eventually, when you just keep trusting it, it'll turn around. We hit a couple shots. Bobby had a big time game. But I would say I just kept trusting it. And down the stretch, like you said, AJ hit a big one, Bees hit a big one, Bobby hit a big one. We just started having guys make those big shots and make those big plays because they, over the course of the game, they was getting those opportunities instead of, me saying, I'm not going to throw it no more. I just kept throwing it, and down the stretch, it paid off.
So Doc's talked about incorporating more sets for you that you used in Portland.
Yeah.
Like, how has that helped you get more comfortable?
It's helped a lot. I think for a significant part of the year, it was just trying to find my way, trying to find my spaces where I would have opportunity. And, I just think because I played against Doc so many times in the West, and he had to scout against me. So when he came in, he was just like, you guys don't run this, and you guys don't run that. Like, this is stuff we hated to guard against you. And he just started to slowly put some of those actions in. And, I think it's helped me kind of just settle in even more, especially playing with some of the guys on this team that can shoot the ball, and having a guy like Giannis and a dunker behind the defense. Sometimes it's like the stuff that I've always run and the situations I've always been in should be even harder to deal with now with the players that I'm playing with.
What do you like most about playing with Bobby?
Just his spirit. I think anytime you're doing something competitive and it's a team thing, you want to look over and see like that competitive spirit and that fight in somebody and that confidence. And that's what he has. He has real confidence in himself. He's a competitor. He thinks he's the best player on the floor. And I think that's why he's, become the player he's become in this league. And that's why he's had such a significant role, on the championship team.
When you're going as well as y'all have these last handful of games, is there any kind of carryover effect that can help you when you're in a situation like you were tonight, down double digits, last minute of the third? Think you can take this game over?
Yeah, I think because we just trusted each other. I think defensively we've trusted our communication. We've depended on the next guy to do his job. And the same offensively, we've made the extra pass a lot more lately. We've made the right play a lot more lately. And I think because our team is seeing the results that we getting from playing that way, even when it's not going our way at points in the game, we trust it. And I think it's just coming back in our favor because we're just doing the right things. Even in the Minnesota game, we were down for the second quarter, the third quarter, the second quarter and then to start the third quarter. But because we just kept trusting it, eventually we ran off in the third quarter and we win that game. And just over my career, the best teams in the league that I've played against, they've always, no matter if they was down, no matter if they was up, they just keep trusting, they keep doing the same things. Those Spurs teams when I was younger, Golden State, the teams in Miami, like all of those teams, the thing that I remember the most is whether we was beating them or whether they were losing games or winning games, they just kept doing the same things over and over. And that's how you become a successful team. And I think that's kind of the direction that we're going in.
And just from your perspective, what's been the biggest difference on defense since Doc got here? Why are you playing so much better defense?
I think we've simplified a lot of things. And, we've, I guess, just bought into some of the schemes. I don't think that guys weren't bought in, but I think we seeing that it's working and we seeing that it fits for us. And it's a lot of talking with Doc. Sometimes we get on the court and we're supposed to be starting practice and Doc will talk for 15 minutes straight. And he's explaining what we're doing and why we're doing and why it won't work. And he's telling guys individually, like, this is what you like to do, but we need you to do this. If you do this all of the time, it's going to work for the team. And they're going to try to call you up into a switch. If they do, you got to jump out aggressively. You got to guard, keep the ball in front of you. And then if they start backing down, we'll have somebody, like, it's just a lot of talking through everything. And I think with a veteran team, you got to be able to hear it. Sometimes you need what we want to happen to make sense, verbally. And then we walk through it and then you get an understanding of it. And that's how you build that faith and that belief and you get on the same page. And, I think he's created an environment where everybody understands, everything is clear. We walk through it 10, 15 times in practice. And then we able to go out there and execute it because of how it's, I guess, being delivered to us.
You kind of mentioned it earlier, but going into this game, knowing Giannis not playing, knowing Chris is not playing, just how did that change your mindset or your approach coming in?
I just knew that I would have to be more aggressive, and I knew that I would have to just control the game a little bit more. And I came out, I was like, I'm going to get downhill, I'm going to be aggressive, and I'm going to make them show me their coverages and how they going to come and just try to create disadvantages. And that was all I did. I was attacking downhill. I was just trying to find the spots on the floor that I wanted to find. And, they pretty much adjusted to it right away. First, they started blitzing, and then they went to a small lineup and they started switching. And then they started switching and then running the guy that switched off of me back to double me. And then I just played that. I played the game against that, So I called up the guys that I wanted to be in it. So I knew who would be in the double team, and I knew who would be on the weak side when I threw it out. So I just started to play that type of game. But I knew with, Chris being out and with Giannis being out, I would need to be, like I said, more assertive. But I also knew that I would need to have my thinking cap on, just be able to manage the game and manipulate it a little bit more.
And then just to win this game, missing those guys, falling down 15, did that tell you any kind of thing about your team, seeing this kind of win tonight?
I think it just shows who we're becoming. Like I said, when I think about those teams when I was younger, the best teams, I remember the Spurs like sitting Duncan, Tony Parker, Ginobili one time against us. And it was like George Neal or Greg, I forget his first name, Gary Neal, and Patty Mills and Splitter. Like, I just remember going into the game like we should beat them, and we lost the game because they know who they are, they know how to win, they trust what they do, and they just do it hard, And I think that's kind of the direction that we're going in, and that was the mentality that we had. Like, nobody talked about who wasn't playing before the game. Like, it was literally like, we was in the locker room. Doc didn't come in there and say, all right, Giannis is out, Chris is out. It was like we went in there, we talked about the scouting report, what we need to do to win the game, and that was it. And I think that just shows what's expected, the standard that we're starting to have, and who we're becoming as a team.
Hey, Dame. I know Pat can be an instigator, big talker defensively. Just what did you think of his ability on that end of the court today, just to the energy he provided for you guys and also the defense?
I think he's Pat is somebody that just knows who he is. He knows what he brings to the table. And, I think if there's a lot of guys in our league that if they had that, we would probably see a lot better from him. But he knows who he is. He knows what he brings to the table. His edge. He's an instigator. He's talking. He believes in what he brings to a team. And, that belief is more than half the battle. But his physicality, he's disruptive. He's irritating guys out there. He get a big rebound. He get a big deflection. He'll hit a big three. You just never know how it's going to come. But he's always engaged, and he's always on edge, and he's always talking. In the huddles, he's got something to say. On the court, he's got something to say. He's talking to the other team. It's just he's going to bring something to the game. You just don't know what it's going to be on any given night. And I think tonight he just did a lot of things well.
You mentioned manipulating the game, and you said earlier lowering their shot quality. How exactly were you able to do that, considering how well they were shooting for the first three quarters?
I think the first thing is you got to is James Harden, Paul George, and Kawhi Leonard out there, and even Norm. They tough shot makers, so they're gonna make some contested ones. They're gonna make some and get an and one. They're gonna make those kind of shots because they are those types of players. But an example of like lowering the shot quality is just like instead of us closing out short to them, we close into their bodies and make them put the ball on the floor. And then when they drive it, we guard them physical. And it's not guarding them by itself. We got, guys in the gaps showing their limbs where they got to drive between people. And then Brooke is coming over at the rim when they go through two people. And then when they throw it out, we got guys already ready to close out to them. So it's like they having to work hard for it. And they're not getting anything comfortable. Nothing is quick. Nothing is like exactly as they want it. It's just like we making them work. We making them drive into the paint, kick it out. We bumping them. We tipping the ball. Sometimes the ball is ending up in guys' hands that they don't want it in because of how we flying around and how physical we are. And I think, like I said, anytime you up against the shot clock, anytime you playing in a crowd, anytime the ball is in somebody's hands that you don't want it in, is lowering the shot quality.